What's going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And this time I'm joined virtually by head coach of CUC men's basketball coach Rashawn Surles. Coach, welcome to the show. Excited to talk to you today.
Man, nice to be here, man. Good to talk over Zoom this time.
That's right. I'm back home for break, but you and your team have been hard at work, and it showed last night. You guys got a big win at CUC over Aurora University, and it stopped a little bit of a two-game skid for you guys. You got back in the win column in conference play, so I'm sure you and the rest of your coaching staff have to be feeling pretty good, along with the team, I should say, after last night's win.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew coming into the game that it was a pretty urgent game. We had to go get it, sitting at 1-3 in conference. We didn't want to put ourselves in a hole that would be too hard to dig ourselves up. So we wanted to get that win so we could start working our way back to 500 and then kind of go from there.
Right. And I know a point of emphasis when we talked last week was the defensive efforts of this team. And, you guys kind of struggled at points in that regard to the first couple of weeks, but you talked about it last week, how you guys were going to kind of change things up a little bit, approach it a little differently in last night's game. And I mean, again, you guys came away with the win, you held them under 80 points. So did you and the rest of your coaching staff see what you needed to see out of this team defensively last night? Did you kind of see those changes come to fruition?
Yeah, I thought we were a lot better defensively. Aurora is a really good team,
Mhm.
so they made us have the players and personnel to be able to make tough shots. But defensively, we saw what we needed to see, and I'm proud of the guys for responding in the way that they did. I think that the first half and even early in the second half, the big issue was getting the offense going, and that's because pretty much the last 7, 8 days, we work basically all defense. So,
Mhm.
we just got to get that healthy balance and go from there.
Right. And helping the offense along last night was, of course, Jordan Matthews had a fantastic game, dropped a 30 piece on Aurora. And, Matthews had a slower couple of games before that, but I think it just shows the resilience of how great a player he is that despite some, not amazing starts, not amazing games before the Aurora game, he's still able to come in against a tough opponent and drop 30 points on them. So I'm sure that was really reassuring for you and the rest of your staff to see that out of Jordan Matthews.
No, absolutely. We knew he would get back on track and fairly quickly. I think it was just a matter of just going through that rut. Every good player has to go through it, especially when you're one of the top guys on the scouting report, game in, game out. And I think he just kind of just put his foot down, kept going, and once he finally started to get a rhythm, he was back on to regular Jordan Matthews time. So, I'm happy to see him going. I thought that his making really carried the offense. And when he got going, everyone else started really going as well. Justin Greenlee really, in
Mhm.
that first half really carried us as well. And I thought, Joel Watts defensively really got us going as well. So,
Mhm.
shout out to those guys.
Definitely. And, going back to Matthews really quick, something that I think we've kind of noticed about him this year is he seems to be taking a little bit more three-pointers. Now, he's always been a well-rounded scorer and he's always been able to score the three, but this year in particular, I mean, he went 8 for 10 last night, scored eight of you guys, 11 total threes. That's a crazy stat for any player to get. Is that something you guys have noticed with him as well? Is he kind of starting to implement that in his bag a little bit more, or is it just kind of the shots are falling his way and he's capitalizing on them?
No, I think he's a very good shooter for one. So once he gets one, you want him to keep shooting those. But that's been a big emphasis coming into the year for us that we wanted to shoot the three and we
Mm,
wanted to space the floor. And I think just being a product of the offense, he's getting easier shots. We got the guys that can kind of, get in the middle of the paint, beat their defenders, make those sprays. And then he's always been crafty enough as a player to create his own shots. So when you got that combination, it just, the shots can fall his way.
right. Well, Coach, you got another big challenge tomorrow night. The Battle of the Concordias makes its way to CUC, CU Dub coming to River Forest. And, it's another tough opponent that, again, two Concordia is always going to be a good game. So, how do you guys build off of last night? Like you said, you got back in the win column in conference play. What needs to happen tomorrow night based on what you saw last night to keep going in the right direction, hopefully pick up another big win in NAC play?
we just got to stay hungry, understand what's at stake right now. We got to get back to 500. And we know that Concordia, Wisconsin's in the same predicament, sitting at 2-3, that they
Mm,
want this win just as bad. So,
right.
it's a rivalry game, knowing that they're coming in. They have a lot of size. We want to make sure that we continue to be physical. We continue to apply pressure and just basically play not only for, this conference win, but also for a little bragging rights with the Concordia Chicago alum. So,
Right.
yeah.
Definitely. Well, CUC men's basketball back at it tomorrow night, taking on Concordia, Wisconsin at CUC's. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Coverage can be found on our website, cucougars.com, and the live stream on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Surles, good luck tomorrow night, as well as the rest of the play this week. I'm looking forward to talking to you again next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go Cougars.